My father, Keith Jesperson, is a serial killer. For years, my family has been coming to terms with that legacy, hoping to help restore the lives he destroyed. Now I'm heading back to where my father's crimes began to try to process what he's done and meet with some family members of the victims, essentially to really say I'm sorry. I'm here now in the area that my dad had taken me over 20 years ago for our summer vacations. I'm only now learning that this is the same location that he had disposed of Tanya Bennett's body. I remember driving this exact road dozens of times and singing road trip songs and having a great time laughing and being happy. And I feel like my good memories with my dad are nothing but a lie now. And I can't help but think about a statement that my dad made when I was on this trip with him. He said, "I know how to kill someone and get away with it." I would cut off the button of her jeans so my fingerprints wouldn't be on it. I would wear my cycling shoes because they don't have an imprint in the sole so that nobody could trace what kind of shoe I was wearing. I didn't know what to say in response to that, so I remember looking out the window. I remember feeling this is really strange, and I remember feeling trapped in the car, and I could only process that this must have been a story he overheard, and he was just saying it in first person. Only later would I learn my father was describing precisely how he murdered Tanya Bennett.
Early Monday, a passerby reported finding the body of an unidentified woman sprawled in the woods. Authorities are asking the public to help identify.
The body was discovered in 1990 in the Columbia Gorge. And it was discovered in what's known as the Scenic Highway, just east of Portland, Oregon. It took several days to determine who she was. She had no identification on her person or around her person. The most significant thing that was unusual was the fact that the fly had been cut out of her jeans.
I was watching the news. They were holding up clothes. And I thought, oh no, that cannot be my sister's clothes. How am I gonna wake up my mom to tell her this, that her daughter's dead?
She was a beautiful young woman just starting her life.
Tanya was my baby sister. I had to watch over her. I had to take care of her. I knew she was a little off when we were younger, but I didn't look at her that way. She's very friendly, outgoing. She was the most loving person. You'll never forget meeting her. I would have never imagined my dad drove in the middle of the night, hoping that no one would spot him, take a body out of the car and just dump her on the side with no remorse, just thrown out here. And I'm angry. I don't want to think about it anymore. I don't even want to. I'm just so done with it.
But my father's trail of destruction isn't over. Soon, even more families will be shattered by his crimes, and there's no end in sight. A year later, and 2,500 miles away in Florida, my father takes another woman's life. The total count of his victims is now 6.
It was a shame in retrospect that Keith was getting away with all these killings because we couldn't tie him to all these killings. Law enforcement, I had no way to know that they were in any way connected to each other.
Until a mysterious letter makes a shocking claim.
The newspaper in Portland received a letter which described the bodies or the location of 5 different victims over the previous years.
On those letters, he didn't sign them, of course, but he drew a happy face.
And hence he is dubbed the Happy Face Killer.
The killer indicated that he was a long-haul truck driver, that he wasn't in the public eye. and that it was so easy to kill these people. And he traveled all over the country doing it.
When I look at Keith's letters, I see 4 main themes. I see a need for attention, a low self-esteem, negative self-image. I see a profound lack of empathy, and I see isolation. I think these themes formed the psychological backdrop for his life.
Between 1990 and 1995, my father, Keith Jesperson, murdered 8 women and destroyed many, many families. Today, my mother and I are meeting one victim's sister to reach out and express our sorrow for what my father did. Oh, here we go.
Hi.
Hi.
Michelle.
Melissa.
Hi, nice to meet you.
This is my mom, Rose.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Come on in.
Okay. Thank you, Michelle, for having us here. I've been looking forward to meeting with you and hearing about your sister, Tanya Bennett. And I want to express my condolences for your loss. I know it can never bring your sister back.
No, I was the closest to her, so why would anybody do what they did? But they did.
It's just something you can't fathom
Yeah,
or
because
think
how
of.
long did you live with him?
I lived with him for 13 years.
And you can't comprehend how this could have come about.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't have any clue.
Yeah, see? You know, you don't really think about it every second of the day, but when it's mentioned, then it comes up, never stops, never stops. And it will never stop, never stop. We were close. I was like more her sister, but, you know, her mom, too. So.
Do you have any pictures
Yeah.
that I could see of her?
Sure. This is when she was 16, actually, yeah.
She looks so trusting and open, and to think that someone that I viewed as a protector was a predator.
I'd take
You know.
advantage of that, and which he did, take advantage of her. He played God, that's what he did. But once, you know, he was standing in front of us at the courthouse, I thought, God, there's no way she could have got away from him. You know, she fought tooth and nail. I know my sister.
I'm ashamed that he's my dad.
Yeah.
I'm ashamed that he has no remorse. I'm ashamed of how he treated your sister and what he did to your sister. And I didn't hear Tanya's story. Her story hasn't been told.
No. It's all about your dad, all about your dad, all about your dad. And you have done a book about how you grew up, but this person had a life, and you yourself had made it more public.
When I came forward with my stories, because I knew there's other families like me that...
Well, yeah, I understand that. I understand that. Because you're trying to help them. But in reality, we have to relive every moment from the time she walked out that damn door that I should have stopped her. And I can't sit here and just talk about my sister because it's the deepest, hardest thing. How do you describe your sister? She's a very happy person until she walked out that door. You know, how you can't put it into words.
Well, I'm thankful that you did meet with me. So I want to say thank you to that.
You're welcome.
I wish I could, you know, obviously offer more, but I'm sorry.
I'm sure it's just as hard on you than it is on me.
Yes, I've carried the pain. And, you know, for me, people think I'm guilty by association.
No.
I carry the pain for the rest of my life. You carry the pain.
Yeah.
Melissa carries the pain. And that's what we share, is the
Pain.
pain and how we get through this. Yes. Tanya had a life, she means something, and her life was snuffed out.
But don't ever feel guilty of what your dad did. Don't ever feel guilty, because it's just because you came from him doesn't mean you did it.
I want to just thank you for your time and. Sorry, I'm just full of tears. I'm gonna get you.
Oh, I've already done it all half the day today, so
Okay.
you're fine.
Okay.
You're fine.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm sorry.
Being the daughter of a serial killer puts everything into question. Am I worthy? Do I have a right to exist when he took so much away from other people? And if I'm happy, is that a slap in the face to the victims' families? I don't want it to be.
There's nothing that she should feel guilty about. Tanya would be happy of my meeting Melissa. She would just let it go, Michelle. She'd tell me, let it go. Because it's not her doing. She'd be happy. She was a happy person.